When you work night shifts long enough, you start craving silence. That's exactly what I told myself when my manager offered me a week off. After months of stacking shelves and mopping aisles under humming fluorescent lights. A few quiet days by the coast sounded like heaven. My friends, Kieran, Luke, and Tyler, had found this old beach house near a lagoon just outside the city. It wasn't fancy, but it was cheap, and surrounded by miles of empty shoreline. A perfect escape, or so we thought. The road there was barely lit. We drove past endless dunes, the sea breeze brushing against the car like a whisper. Every few miles, a streetlight flickered, just long enough to make the darkness feel alive. Luke joked about it, saying, "Bro, feels like one of those horror movie spots where no one comes back." We all laughed. Too loud, maybe, trying to mask the unease. The house itself looked older than it did in the pictures. Weathered wood, chipped paint, windows covered with salt stains. But when we opened the door, the inside was cozy. A faint smell of old wood mixed with sea air, and furniture covered in white sheets. Kieran ran upstairs yelling, "First dibs on the room with the view!" His voice echoed strangely, like the walls swallowed sound before spitting it back. That should have been our first warning. That night, after unpacking, we sat around a bonfire on the beach. The sky was pitch black, stars scattered like shattered glass. The lagoon reflected the moonlight so perfectly it looked unreal. Still, smooth, almost like it wasn't water at all. Tyler started telling ghost stories. His face half lit by the flames. Something about a fisherman who drowned in this very lagoon, and whose body was never found. We all laughed it off, but when a cold gust blew out part of the fire, everyone fell silent for a moment. Later, around midnight, I went inside to grab more drinks. The house was dark except for the dim light from the kitchen window. The floor creaked under my steps, old wood expanding in the cold, I told myself. But then I heard something upstairs. A dragging sound. Slow. Heavy. Like someone moving furniture. Or something heavier. "Kieran?" I called. No reply. The sound stopped. I climbed halfway up the stairs and waited, my heart thudding. The air smelled different. Damp. Metallic. Then, a door creaked open on its own. Just a faint sliver of moonlight slipped out into the hall. And then slammed shut. I stood frozen for a good 10 seconds before forcing a laugh. Probably the wind, I told myself again. Just the damn wind. When I went back outside, Luke asked, "You good, man? You look pale." "Yeah," I lied. But even over the sound of waves, I swore I could still hear that faint dragging noise. Coming from inside. By the second night, the house didn't feel relaxing anymore. Every sound seemed too sharp, every silence too deep. Even the sea outside, once gentle, now sounded like it was breathing. After dinner, Kieran went upstairs to shower. Luke and Tyler were busy arguing about music. So I stepped outside for some air. The moon was high, pale and swollen, and the lagoon shimmered like a sheet of glass. That's when I saw it. A figure, standing waist deep in the water. Still. Not moving. At first, I thought it was a fisherman. But then I noticed the head, tilted too far to one side. Unnatural. Almost broken. I blinked. It was gone. No ripples, no splash. Just gone. When I went back inside, the house felt colder. The windows fogged up from the inside, and faint shapes kept appearing in the mist. Handprints, smears, like someone brushing the glass from the outside. Then came the thud. A heavy crash upstairs. Luke yelled, "Kieran! You okay up there?" No answer. We all ran up. The bathroom door was wide open. Steam filled the room. But the shower was off. The floor was wet. And there were footprints. Bare, muddy, leading out into the hallway. Kieran? Nothing. The three of us followed the prints down the narrow hall. They led toward the guest room, the one none of us used. Tyler reached for the handle. It was ice cold. When he pushed it open, the light from the hallway spilled in. And for a second, we saw something. A shape crouched in the corner. Small. Human-like. It turned toward us. Its face blurred, shifting, like smoke trying to hold form. The door slammed shut with such force the walls shook. Tyler screamed and stumbled back. And all of us bolted downstairs. We didn't stop running until we were outside on the sand. The house loomed behind us. Windows pitch black. Like empty eyes staring. Then, from upstairs, a faint voice called out. Kieran? Except, it wasn't Kieran's voice. It was deeper. Wrong. Luke grabbed his phone and called the police. But there was no signal. Nothing. Just static. We decided to make a run for the car. But when we reached the driveway, the tires were slashed. Every single one. 4 deep cuts like claw marks. That's when Kieran came out of the house. Barefoot. Soaking wet. His head tilted, just like the figure in the water. He smiled at us. But his eyes were empty. Why did you leave? He asked softly. We were just getting started. Then he laughed. A dry, broken sound that echoed across the beach. Behind him, the lights in the house flickered. And in every window, we saw faces. Dozens of them. All pale, waterlogged, watching. We ran. We didn't look back. We ran until our legs gave out. The cold sand burned under our feet. And the night air felt heavy, almost alive. When we finally reached the main road, a passing truck stopped. The driver took one look at us, soaked, shaking, and speechless. And didn't ask a single question. He just unlocked the door and said, "Get in." We sat in silence the entire way to town. Luke kept whispering. He was right there. He looked like Kieran. But none of us had the strength to answer. By dawn, we were at the local police station. They sent officers to the beach house. Hours later, they came back with pale faces. They said the house was empty. No signs of a struggle. No footprints. No Kieran. They even searched the lagoon. Nothing. Just an abandoned boat drifting in circles near the far end of the shore. A week passed. Then, the police found Kieran's phone. Half buried in the sand, a few feet from where we'd seen him last. The screen was cracked, but one video had survived. In it, the camera pointed toward the water. Kieran's voice, trembling, whispered, "There's someone in the lagoon." Then, a splash. A scream. And silence. They ruled it as accidental drowning. But that didn't explain the faces we saw in the windows. Or the laughter that echoed from the house when no one was there. Months later, I tried to move on. New city, new job. But sometimes, when I work the night shift, I'll see a reflection in the store window. A shape standing just behind me, dripping wet. When I turn around, there's nothing. I don't talk about that night anymore. Luke moved away. Tyler stopped answering calls. The beach house still stands there, they say. Boarded up now. But locals swear they hear voices near the lagoon at night. Maybe it's the wind. Maybe it's something else. But I know what I saw. And I know he's still out there. Watching. The darkness is always watching. If you want more stories that send chills down your spine, like, share, and subscribe to Dark Echoes. Stay safe, or don't. We'll see you next time.